It is springtime in the Fertile Crescent, 2000 BC. You are traveling along the banks of the mighty Euphrates River. The sun is high overhead and the river flows gently past lush farmlands and grazing animals. In the distance, you see a city wall. But what lies behind those massive mud brick walls? What secrets does it hold? How did it come to be? Let's find out. This is the ancient city of Babylon. It is the capital of the first great empire in the ancient Near East. Over the next 400 years, this city will grow into one of the largest cities in the ancient world, home to over 2 million people. Babylon was also home to one of the most famous rulers in history, the great King Hammurabi, who would become known for his impressive code of laws, which were written in the earliest known alphabetic script. And you may have even heard of the legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the ancient world's 7 wonders. But for now, it is the year 2000 BC, and we're about to meet the man who started it all, the first king of Babylon, Hammurabi. We pan down to the bustling marketplaces of ancient Babylon. There are merchants selling dates from Mesopotamia and traders bringing goods from distant lands. There are farmers peddling vegetables and fruit and fishermen showing off their latest catches. This marketplace bustles with activity as people go about their daily lives. There are servants carrying silver trays, women shopping for fabric, and children playing in the street. As we wander through the marketplace, we can hear the chatter of merchants hawking their wares, the clink of coins being exchanged, the bleating of sheep and the cries of vendors. We arrive at the royal palace and pause to admire its grandeur. It is a sprawling complex of mud brick buildings adorned with intricate decorations and surrounded by high walls. We enter the courtyard and are greeted by a sight that takes our breath away. Before us stands the throne of King Hammurabi, a majestic symbol of his power and authority. It is crafted from solid gold and inlaid with precious stones, each carefully selected to represent different aspects of his reign. The throne is adorned with intricate carvings of mythical creatures and scenes from battles he has won. Above the throne, a golden crown sits atop a tall pillar, symbolizing his status as the supreme ruler of Babylon. On either side of the throne are 2 sphinxes, their bodies carved in the form of lions and their heads in the likeness of the king himself. They serve as silent guardians, watching over the court and protecting the king from harm. At the foot of the throne, a small group of advisors stand attentively, waiting for the king's instructions. They are some of the most trusted members of his court, and their job is to help him make decisions that will affect the entire empire. The great king is returning to his palace after a day of hunting. His entourage is large, consisting of soldiers, courtiers, and servants. He rides on a golden chariot pulled by powerful horses, and his presence is announced by a herald who goes before him shouting, "Make way for the king!" The crowd parts before him, and he enters the palace grounds to the sound of trumpets and drums. As the king approaches, everyone falls silent and bows their head in submission. The king's face is stern, but there is a hint of a smile playing on his lips. He knows that he has had a successful day and that his empire is strong and prosperous. The king sits on his throne and surveys his domain. From this vantage point, he can see everything that is happening in the courtyard. He watches as his advisors discuss matters of state, as merchants trade goods, and as common folk go about their daily lives. The king feels a sense of pride and satisfaction. He has worked hard to build his empire and make it the envy of the ancient world. And so far, he has succeeded. But the king's attention is drawn to something else, something that has been bothering him lately. He sees a group of people gathered around a well in the center of the courtyard, and he can hear them talking in hushed tones. The king listens intently and hears them discussing the injustices that are taking place in his kingdom. People talk about how the rich take advantage of the poor and how the weak have no one to protect them. The king is troubled by what he hears. He wants his kingdom to be a place of justice and equality, but he knows that there is much work to be done. The king summons his advisors and tells them what he has heard. He asks them what can be done to improve the lives of his people and bring justice to his kingdom. The advisors discuss the matter for days and eventually come up with a plan. They will create a code of laws that will apply to everyone in the kingdom, regardless of their social status. These laws will ensure that the rich cannot exploit the poor and that the weak are protected. The king is pleased with this idea and gives the advisors the authority to put it into action. And so the wheels of justice are set in motion. The advisors travel throughout the kingdom, gathering input from people from all walks of life. They want to ensure that the laws are fair and just for everyone. After many months of work, the code of laws is finally complete. The king reviews it carefully and makes any necessary adjustments. When he is satisfied, he announces to the kingdom that a new era of justice has begun. From that day forward, the laws are inscribed on a black stone stele and placed in the town square where everyone can see it. Whenever there is a dispute, the people refer to the laws to find guidance. The Code of Hammurabi becomes one of the most important legal documents in history, and the king's reputation as a wise and compassionate ruler grows. Now let's venture back to the marketplace. The townspeople are celebrating the introduction of the Code of Laws. There is music, dancing, and plenty of food and drink to go around. The people are happy and grateful to the king for bringing justice to their lives. The celebration lasts for days, and everyone in the kingdom rejoices in the new era of peace and prosperity. As the night wears on, the revelers begin to make their way home. The streets are quiet, and the only sound is the gentle lapping of the river against the city walls. The moon is high in the sky, and the stars are shining brightly. It has been a good day, and the people of Babylon are grateful for their wise and benevolent king. But let's shift gears now and venture beyond the city walls. We ride out into the vast desert that surrounds Babylon and journey to the royal hunting grounds. Here, baboons, cows, goats, and dogs roam freely. The landscape is dotted with small hills and valleys, providing plenty of space for the king and his party to hunt. The air is hot and dry, and the wind blows constantly across the barren landscape. The heat shimmers in the distance, and the only sound is the cry of a hawk overhead. We come across a watering hole where a small group of animals have gathered to drink. There are gazelles, wild boars, and even a few lions. The king watches from a nearby hill and selects his prey. He raises his bow and fires an arrow towards a young gazelle. The arrow finds its mark, and the animal collapses to the ground. The king and his party rush to the gazelle and admire his catch. They know that this will be a welcome addition to the stores of food in Babylon. As the sun begins to set, the king and his party return to the city. They are tired from a long day of hunting, but they are also happy with their catch. They know that they have secured another meal for the people of Babylon. As they enter the city, they are greeted by the cheers of the townspeople. The people are grateful for the king's generosity, and they know that he is working hard to keep them fed and safe. And lastly, let's revisit the royal palace one more time. We sneak through the city and avoid the guards by hiding in the shadows. We make our way to the top of the palace wall and look out over the city. Before us lies the Hanging Gardens, one of the ancient world's 7 wonders. We gasp in amazement as we take in the beauty of these lush gardens filled with all kinds of plants and trees. The gardens are truly a sight to behold. Water flows from ornate fountains and cascades over rocks and plants. Birds fly overhead, and the air is filled with the sweet scent of flowers. The gardens are a peaceful oasis in the middle of the bustling city, and we feel a sense of calm wash over us as we take in the beauty of our surroundings. But our adventure in Babylon isn't over yet. There are still many more stories to uncover and many more wonders to behold. So make sure to stay tuned and join us next time as we continue to explore the ancient world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. We hope you enjoyed this adventure in ancient Babylon. If you did, please don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an exciting episode. We've got lots of amazing adventures planned for you in the future. Until then, keep exploring the ancient world on your own. Visit a museum, watch a documentary, or read a book about ancient civilizations. Who knows, you might just discover a passion for history that will last a lifetime. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.